We've got 5 more minutes with Nigel Latta, and he has no idea where we're going. So this is going to be an ad hoc answer from him, probably. I want you to tell me that if you could influence any policies in New Zealand, you could influence, even dictate.
Yep.
For some reason, you could dictate some policies or some changes. I want you to tell me, if you can, in order, what they might be.
Yep.
To improve life in this country.
If I could pick one thing, and it had to be the thing that I thought, I don't want something fluffy, I want to pick one thing that I know will have an immediate, measurable result, it would be the laws around alcohol and how it's sold. Because if you look across all of the problems that we have, alcohol is there in all of them. I would make it more expensive, I would stop the marketing, and I would make it harder to get. I would take it out of supermarkets. Geoffrey Palmer, who was part of the government that put it into supermarkets, says we made a mistake. That hasn't been good for the country. So if I got one thing, that would be my one thing.
All right. So I'll ask you, if we have time, another thing or two. But let's look at the thing. You've stuck with alcohol. Let's look at it a little further. It wasn't. Well, it was from a retailing point of view. I mean, you might know, but I have a small boutique vineyard. It's not in supermarkets, by the way. But it's not the fact that it's in supermarkets that is the issue. The issue is the age and the acceptability of boozing beyond reasonable limits.
It is. I mean, you see, and my issue isn't with small boutique vineyards and small boutique beer breweries, because we film with some guys down in West, Yeasty Boys, who make a really nice beer. The problem is that the alcohol industry, the huge multinational corporations that run the stuff, are very big and they're very powerful, and they employ lobbyists who go into Parliament, and so we have politicians using their soundbites.
Because of the sound, because of the time thing. I've just come back from 2 weeks in the States, where still 21 is the age. And while America does plenty of things wrong, that's one thing. Louisiana, a country, what's like a different country, but a state that I am very familiar with, lowered it to 20 at one stage. Within a very short space of time, they put it back up again.
Yeah.
Because they realised the mistake that they made, and they enforce it.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that kids don't get their hands on it, etc., but that's the standard. Now, why do we think we're so mature and so capable of lowering the age to 18 and thinking that people have enough brains left to deal with it? Why do we?
Well, and you've got to ask that, and this is where it's kind of a lot of those things were conscience votes, so people didn't have to vote along party lines. So that you can't single out any one particular party. All of them were part of voting that stuff in, and they all could take a stand against it, but they don't. It's one of those things that's a no-brainer. You know, selling it to 18-year-olds, just dumb. 21 is if I was Prime Minister, 21.
I would too. You got time for one more go? One more thing?
One more thing?
That you change?
Goodness
for
me.
the sake of New Zealand, for the betterment of the country?
Do you know what? I would, now this will bring the ire down of some listeners upon me. I would look at someone like Derek Handley, and I look at the work that the B team are doing around how we should apply capitalism in the future. I would legislate so that companies shouldn't just be concerned with quarterly profits, but should also be concerned with an environmental and a social responsibility, because that's the stuff that builds long-term sustainable businesses. So not just quarterly profits, that's not the single driving thing for companies, but social responsibility and environmental stuff as well.
That's Nigel Latta. Next week it's alcohol, the week after?
I think it's child abuse and neglect.
Oh, I've got an email that says, why the hell is this not on at 7:30?
Because some of the content in some of the later programs is probably not the kind of stuff that you want on at 7:30.
There you go.
You can watch it on demand. You don't have to stay up.
It's X-rated. Good to talk to you.
Good day. Thanks, Leighton.
Thanks kindly.